Okay, let's get the tier list up. There are some games that you won't recognize in here, like this one, this one. Those are games I've played in my own time, and for one reason or another couldn't make it to the Roguelike Rumble. There are some games I've played before on stream, but not in the Roguelike Rumble, like Undermine and Potionomics. Mostly because these two are too much roguelite elements. So, let's start off by just going through them the way we played them. So that means we're skipping some of them. That means Noita is first. Noita. It's a very interesting game. I don't think it's made. It's definitely not made for me, which is the issue. I can see why people like it. I'm debating between B tier or A tier. This is the start, so it might change later. But I think I'm gonna start off with. I'm gonna start off with B tier, but maybe it will improve later on. Maybe I'll put it on A tier later on. Then next up, we have Cobalt Core, represented by our rigs here. Cobalt Core, whereas Noita is too hard, I feel like Cobalt Core is too. I've already said this before. The music is too loud in my ears. So Cobalt Core. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Cobalt Core and Noita both in A, actually. So Cobalt Core, it's a pretty solid game. Like I said, it's too easy in my eyes. I feel like there's not enough challenge. Like the damage numbers being too low is the main issue I have. That means that you can't really make a decision if you want to. Like it doesn't really mean like, hey, do you want to lose 3 HP to deal 5 damage? Something interesting you can do in Slay the Spire. Whereas this one is, lose a whole or deal 1 damage. And I feel like it's almost always better to not shield yourself. I feel like it's sometimes it can be way too easy to get way too much block or way too much evade. And it kind of removes some of the challenge. That's the issues I have with the game. I know it's a favorite for some people here. Eclipse. But yeah, so same goes for Noita. But I think A tier is definitely a worthy spot for this game. Okay, next up, FTL. FTL is also very interesting. I think I want to name this one A- and this one A+. And put FTL in here, but Noita and Cobalt Core in here. I think FTL is a more interesting game. So there are a lot of mechanics in FTL. A lot of ways to deal with enemies. Sometimes it's really hit or miss though. Yeah, on like second thought, you're going in A- tier. Just feels like some of the weapons aren't able to be used to their full potential. Feels like you need to have pulse weapons to deal with the mothership's shield. In addition to that, I feel like mothership is too much of an end game boss. Because it really severely spikes during the mothership boss. This essence of roguelike, yeah, that's true. Alright, next up we have Casey's mod. So Inscription is a really fun game, but it doesn't work as a roguelike. B tier. Because Casey's mod is based on Act 1 of Inscription. But the actual Act 1, the game wants you to beat it. And the way the game makes you beat it is by creating broken combos. Like infinite scrolls or bloody scrolls or gaining a one-hit KO card. Which makes speedrunning interesting, that's for certain. The Cases mod does try to balance some of these out. Oh, and Ouroboros is also another thing. But yeah, Cases mod tries to balance some of it out, but it feels lacking at times. There's not really enough balancing to make it a fun roguelike. Honestly, I think the Zero's section would make for a better Cases mod, and that's not just me being a fangirl for P0 3. I think it generally would make a better roguelike because it's more balanced. And like there is the P03 mod, but I feel like that mod kind of removes some of the balance that Act 3 has, which is a pretty strange thing to say. But yeah, some of the rares are broken. Like the hardest challenge in the game is also a thing I have issue with. The fact that basically it boils down to can you get the right items to defeat the Wolf Wrestlers, rather than can you build a strong enough deck to face off against a strong adversary. It feels a bit too much like you need to exploit the game rather than you need to beat the game. Which is why I only beat here. The atmosphere is really good. Again, not as good as the P03 Factor atmosphere. But most people prefer Act 1 for some reason, so that's what we get. No, the Act 1 atmosphere is really cool. It's just I think Inscription is a really great game. Just too many issues for it to be a really good roguelike. This is going to be my final verdict. And then there's Balatro. Balatro was a really fun game. It was really nice to make the deck, to like find combos, find really good synergies. And I think I probably would have put it in A+ tier. The keyword here is would have. Because it's come to my attention that the developers removed the demo from Steam. Which I think is a really, really awful move. And something I definitely do not agree with. Especially because the game isn't out yet. They pulled the game from the Steam market when it's not out yet. They pulled a demo from the Steam. And I don't see why you would do that, because demos are a really good way to introduce your game. And I feel like demos would increase your sales, but apparently they disagree. And you can't even. And yeah, like you may think, okay, like you can't download the demo if you wanted to. That's up to them. But I can't even play the demo itself. I can't even play the demo, even though I've downloaded it before it got removed. I think this is really scummy behavior. And I don't know. Maybe the game was pretty fun, but right now it is literally unplayable. And like previously, I thought I really wanted to buy the game, but I'm not really so certain anymore if I want to buy the game anymore because of this move. But yeah, this is gonna be put in the literally unplayable tier. Balatro was the poker roguelike. One where you had to make houses stuff. Hello, actually, Aptaro. Hello. Alright, what do we have next? Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. I don't really have much word for this. It's C tier. So let me actually enlighten the tiers. So S tier, top 3, that should be self-explanatory. S tier, one of the best. Highly recommend replaying even after beating everything. So A+ tier. So A+ tier, definitely worth beating. Well, completing actually. Completing, like beating all the difficulties and stuff. So in this one, highly recommend even after completing. How do I add it? Even after completing everything. Just to get a bit of grasp. Completing. Just to get a bit of idea of what the tiers represent. A- is definitely worth playing multiple runs. But completing it may not be the most enjoyable. And by that metric, definitely Inscription would be fall in there for fun for multiple runs, but not worth completing. Because of the Skullstorm difficulty. Then B tier would be. We're gonna call this one A tier, and this one B tier. I'm gonna go back to the original. So these two should go in A tier. This one should go in B tier because this is worth multiple runs, but not complete. C rank, worth playing a couple rounds, but that's about it. And D rank is worth giving it a shot, but probably a one and done. So I feel like that should give some ideas as to what the tiers represent, and F tier and top 3 tier should be pretty self-explanatory. So Dungeons and Dragons gamblers. So let's talk about things you can do on a turn. So Cobalt Core, you get to play 3 energy worth of cards. Get to move. You get to basically do a lot of stuff. Inscription, you can play multiple cards per turn. You can set up infinites. You only get to draw 1 card per turn, which is one of the things that needs to be reworked for it to turn into a proper roguelike. But I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't really know if you could turn Inscription into a game similar to Slay the Spire. Maybe it's just too many fundamental things that need to change. Anyway, for FTL and Noita are of course real time, so tons of things to do. FTL, you can even pause the game in FTL. You can manage energy systems, manage your crew, manage your weapons, manage your drones. Yeah, that's quite a bit. And this one's firing, moving. A lot going on. Dungeon and Degenerate Gamblers. You get 2 choices. You get to hit or to stand. A lot of it is pure chance. Like, do you want to hit and risk going over 21, or do you want to stand but be certain to get only 18? It's just like real blackjack. Yeah, it's not bad in any sense of the word. There's also a lot of balancing issues in that the cards you start with are actually bad sometimes, and they're way too powerful cards, which basically flood your deck with. And almost all cards are powerful. Yeah, there's just not a lot going on in this game. Not a lot that makes it really worth playing. Yeah, I think that's enough about that game. Next up is Grow the Seed. Another D tier game. It's a neat concept that it's too rough around the edges. You can tell it's in early access. I like the concept, and no pun intended, but I'd love to see the game grow. But as it currently is, I don't think it's worth playing multiple times. Like one time can be pretty fun, but there's not a lot of interesting things going on with this game that make it worth multiple times. Very unfinished game, yeah, exactly. Then we have the Ouroboros King, and this one looked interesting. But I'm really bad at it, and jump scares, yep. I'm really bad at this game. Maybe it's fun, maybe it isn't. I'm not going to rank this one. I do not feel confident enough in ranking this one. So I'm gonna leave this blank. I don't feel like I have the capabilities of ranking that one properly. Next up, forward escape default. So one issue I had with Dungeons and Gamblers is the lack of action on your part. This game also has the same issue. You can't. You only have 3, sometimes even 2 options. Do you want to go forward, left, or right? That being said, it's C tier. The game is very snappy. If that makes sense. Like if you set up the controls correctly, you can play through the game pretty quickly. Which you can't really with Dungeons and Gamblers. It's definitely very much luck based, which is why it's not higher than C tier. But it has some fun concepts like you can also do the mana attack. There's very much a risk reward thing going on. Yeah, I wasn't really able to showcase it, but you can. There are some items that there are some corrupt items which give bad effects, but there are other items which give you bonuses when you take corrupt items. So that is one of the things I really like about it. The risk reward of that thing. Overall, it definitely feels a lot more polished than these two. That's one of the reasons why I put it above these two in C tier. And one other issue I have with this game is that there's no cloud save. So progress made on one system does not carry over in the other system unless you physically transfer your save, which is really annoying. Yeah, it's definitely a C tier game. I think I had fun unlocking characters and playing with new characters, but every character does have something interesting about them. But there's not enough to really push it to B tier. I think Inscription is definitely better than Forward, and these two are all better than Inscription. These 3, I mean. So the next game, Shotgun King. Where is it? There it is. Shotgun King. You are king. You have a shotgun. You need to defeat the enemy. Very fun. Very punishing. I think the ascension system of this game is done pretty well. There are really fun cards. Sometimes it does feel like cards are better than others. You can get easily overwhelmed, and the game is very punishing. I'm not sure if I want to give it S tier or A tier. Let's see, is it worth playing after completing, or is it just worth completing? It is worth completing. Is it worth after completing? I'm gonna put it in S tier for now. I might change that later though. Chess game? Yep, chess game. The one where you have a shotgun. So that's our first S tier. Then next up we have Terra cards. Terra cards is a very fun game. It is in early access, and oh boy, does the performance sometimes crash. It can also be pretty hard to get started, but that's okay. Unless you play a Roguelike Rumble where you have only 1 life, but hey. You can get some pretty interesting systems. It has a lot of performance issues. There's no, as far as I know, no ascension system. There's just a lot of lacking. There's a lot of I've had issues where things don't actually do what they tell you they do. It's sometimes hard to really play the game, but that said, it's a very fun and relaxing game. But because there's not really you can make player-made challenges, but other than that, there's not really something you can do with it. I think there's only B tier. And next up we have Farm Keeper, which is like similar to tarot cards but worse. I don't really have much to say about this. Doesn't feel as balanced. I think C tier, definitely it. Next up, we have Journey to the West. I've played the demo a few times. I've had some fun with it. It is definitely Slay inspired. It's sometimes more difficult to read the card text. But the Eastern influences are pretty cool. I haven't played the full game yet. Maybe I will one day. And until I've played the full game, I'm gonna not rank it. I don't feel comfortable ranking it until I've played the full game. Luck be a landlord. Wherever this one. I've completed this game to completion. It feels very random. It's just like Dungeons and Dragons Gamblers. There's not really that much you can do in the game. It is nice to see the game exponentially grow and go absolutely ham. But it's not something I really enjoy playing often. Yeah, I think it's on the same rank as Forward. C tier. And next up, we have Packlin. Packlin, the Peggle Roguelike. I think that's pretty self-explanatory in S tier. It's a lot of fun. I'm really bad at it. It's just ball go bounce. S tier. Yep. Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the better ones. All right, Dicey Dungeons. I've played this a lot in the past, not really recently. Just some fun challenges. I had a lot of fun with different languages, but that's. What was my score for Dicey Dungeons? I completed that, right? No, I didn't. Oh no, I didn't, and then I played another run which I beat. That's right. It has a lot of soul into it. I think I want to put it in A tier. It's pretty fun. Violence, balance, and finish, and it's really pretty and fun to watch. Yeah, that's a really good point. As Dungeons, I'm really waiting between A tier and B tier. I think it's B tier actually. Maybe I'll change some stuff later. Oh, and these are all unordered pretty much. Maybe I'll order them later. You know what? Maybe I'll move this one later. And then we have Spelunky. I've only played this one a little bit. I haven't even put it in here. Gotta put it in here. Anyway, definitely thought I put it in here. Anyway, Spelunky, I'm not gonna rank it. I have not played this game enough to rank it. Unranked. It doesn't seem like the game for me, but oh well. Spelunky's way too hard. Yeah, that's a good point. So the next one that we played is Shattered Pixel Dungeon. Shattered Pixel Dungeon is one of the best dungeon crawling roguelikes I've ever played. And I've played quite a bit. There are a lot of like, it's perfectly balanced. I'll get into this more when I show the other ones I've on the list. But this game definitely has the most balancing combat. You actually need to really think about your actions. There are a lot of little things you can learn, like how Swarm of Flies always drop health potions, so that's an easy way to identify it. You can use the alchemy pot to get the knowledge of what scrolls are. I think this is more of an S tier. There are also challenges later on, but I didn't really. 5 characters, and it's constantly getting updated. And furthermore, it's free on mobile. Definitely really a highlight. Alright, now we're going to get into some games that I haven't shown on the Roguelike Rumble for one reason or another, and I just realized about another game that I forgot to add. So let me get a picture of that. And that is The Enchanted Cave 2. The reason I didn't play this is it's too much roguelite. Too much roguelite element. How do I not fit you to sell? Oh, I need to anchor you to sell. Then I can fit to sell. So yeah, this is too much of a roguelike to fit in the theming of the Roguelike Rumble. It's been a long time since I played this game, so I can't really remember. But I think it was. I think it's worth A tier. It's really fun to get the hang of. There are some pretty interesting things you can do in the game. I don't really know what to say. It's been too long. Yeah, it's a pretty solid game. So I'm gonna put it in. And next up, another roguelike game that's too much of a roguelite. You have seen this before on the channel, maybe. That is Undermine, which is a mining roguelike. Similar to what's it called? Binding of Isaac, those kinds of games. Yeah, I had a blast playing through this. I don't really know what else to say. I think that's another A tier. A tier is getting. yeah, undermine the mining game. Yeah, I think it's A tier. I don't really have much to say about it. Potionomics. The roguelike elements are pretty poor. So the game, like, I was thinking, hey, this is going to be a Slay the Spire game with some, but with potions and with some micromanaging maybe. But no, it's a potion selling game with some Slay the Spire elements. And it wasn't really what I hoped for. But it's not a bad game. The dating sim's really something I care about, but it's decent enough, I guess. There are a lot of things in this game that annoy me, however. I think it's C tier. Game just doesn't really capture my interest. I think I wanted to. I think I wanted to beat the game, but it's not. Yeah, compared to this game, I think C tier is the best spot for it. All right, next up, let's see. Loop Hero, which is also has too much meta progression. It's been a long time since I played it. Like, the game is kind of an auto battler, which I'm not really helped me enjoy the game. It's a bit micromanaging at times. I think it fits in your B tier nicely. I think it fits in B tier nicely with the others. Next up, Across the Obelisk. I didn't play this on the Roguelike Rumble. That's because this is an F tier game. I did not enjoy my time playing this game. I've tried it twice. It's a multiplayer game, so I tried it once single player, tried it once multiplayer. Both of them weren't enjoyable. I couldn't really understand a lot of the systems the game threw at me, like upgrading and those kinds of things. It was difficult to both build 4 different decks at once. It was a challenge, as well as building a deck with friends, because you have to really work together. I wasn't really able to. Yeah, crappy version of Slay the Spire. Yeah, yeah. It takes a lot of inspiration of Slay the Spire, but it implements them really poorly. Like, for example, you have ice cream, meaning your energy is conserved, but you can't see how much damage people deal. So, do you want to use your energy on blocks, or do you want to not use your energy on blocks and we'll hope you don't get hit, or do you want to waste energy because block gets removed at the end? Yeah, there's also the fact that even there is an effect which allows you to reveal cards. But still, a lot of cards are like hit a random target, which, like, it's fine if it's a some card, but when the enemy has it and when you need to block each member specifically, then it really feels that everything Slay the Spire did, it implemented it the worst way possible. I think that game definitely deserved the F tier. I did not have a fun time with the game. Okay, next up, a game I have shown on stream. The reason this is not in the Roguelike Rumble is because I bought it way later when I started the Roguelike Rumble, and I didn't want to include it in the Roguelike Rumble because I already felt like I had it. And that is One Step from Eden. So this game, you need to play this game. So the first few rounds of this game are really overwhelming, and yeah, it's kind of hard to follow what's going on. Or at least I had that issue. Um, it was like it's a real time game. I felt like the game was way too quick. But I've played it some more, and I've got to say that it is a really fun game. It's incredibly solid. There are a lot of little things. I think this is it's definitely another S tier. One step from Eden. I had a ton of fun with this game. You definitely need to get some invest some time into learning the game. But once you do, this is definitely worth it. It's a little bit hard to follow maybe if you watch it on stream. But that's more for you problem. But yeah, I've been playing this offline. I've been having a ton of fun with it. Like similar amount of fun to Packlin when I first played it. So I think it fits in S tier. Alright, now we only have games left that I haven't shown, and a few others, but you might guess where they go. Hades, pretty popular game. I kinda sort of enjoy it. Definitely not really my cup of tea. If I have to compare it with everything that's on here, I think this is a B tier game as well. In my opinion. It definitely has some cool stuff. I just can't really get into it that much. Next up, Die in the Dungeon. Origins. This is a demo for another game. Die in the Dungeons. That's not out yet. This game, it has some fun, unique stuff. It didn't really catch my attention as much as Backlin or One Step from Eden. It has some unique mechanics. A tier. Well, maybe the actual game is going to be A tier, but this is going to be B tier because the demo is very limited. It's only one act. A lot of encounters are the same. The boss is always guaranteed to be the same. It definitely has a lot of fun ideas, and I'm interested to see where it goes. And I think the full version of the game would definitely be A tier and might even be S tier. One question, Onan Hunter. Do you feel like I need to introduce what the game is, or do you think just hearing about the game, even though you have no idea what it is, can be fun? Yeah, in this game, you need to... Which one? Like any game, basically. The Die in the Dungeon. It's a free game, and if you want to try it out, then free. Yeah, you need to roll. You have some attack dice, some block dice, and some other kind of dice. You roll those, and you can play a couple on the board. I definitely recommend checking it out. Especially because it's free, and yeah, it has it has some neat mechanics. I don't really feel like the combat is too interesting. Anyway, I definitely recommend checking it out. Next up we have let's do this one next. Adventure Labyrinth Story. This is one of the very first roguelikes I played. It's on the 3DS, and I don't think it's on any other console. I'd love to see a Switch port or a Steam port. But until that one, yeah. But yeah, it definitely struggles with the hardware sometimes. Yeah, it is similar to Shattered Pixel Dungeon, but the combat is just a lot of attacking back and forth, without much thought. Whereas Shattered Pixel Dungeon has a lot of mechanics that make attacking interesting, and and sometimes it's just hitting the enemy, and then the enemy hits you, and then you hit the enemy. But that's mostly a problem in the early game. And even then, the combat is balanced and never feels like you're too powerful or you're too weak. Which is something that the next two games, which Adventure Bar Labyrinth Story or Adventure Bar Labyrinth, whatever, struggles with. I think it's a B tier. I had a lot of fun with this growing up, but I can't say it aged well. I've definitely played it again lately, and I had a ton of fun with it again. It's a bit hard. It's a bit inaccessible because of the hardware, which is a shame. It was definitely a highlight of the 3DS. But I don't think you can download it anymore. I'm not sure if it's shut down on the 3DS or not. Maybe you can get a ROM of it. Yeah, it's a neat game. Toho Against a Wanderer is pretty much the same game, except with a different coat of paint. It suffers from most of the same issues like combat, being you hit the enemy once and they die. That being said, there are a lot of interesting mechanics in this game. Nido Fusion being one of them. And the Toho coat of paint is pretty fun. Like, part of me wants to put it in A tier, but I don't really know. I don't know if it's nostalgia or not, but I don't know if I want to put it above Adventure Labyrinth Story. It's pretty more like it's touchscreen. Adventure Labyrinth Story does not use the touchscreen. The touchscreen is the map, but you can't use it, so that's another issue with this game. Like, I imagine Kid Icarus would be really hard to emulate. I'm going to put it in A tier for now, but maybe I'll put it lower later. Yeah, it's pretty fun, but now it's too grindy, too much grinding in this game to put in A tier. It's definitely B tier. The game can feel very sluggish at times. Like playing it can be a chore at times. That's definitely not something you want to hear. But overall, it's a really decent game. Definitely worth a shot. Cool. I have it on the Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure it's on Steam as well. Yeah, it's definitely a fun game. There's a ton of content in it. It's just that the content sometimes drags on a lot. I think that's my game. Okay, let's move on. Card Roll Adventure. It's a mobile game. Next couple of games are going to be mobile games. These three are all from the same developer, actually. This one is definitely the best of the bunch. There's a lot of interesting mechanics. And you need to click on, like, the atmosphere is also really cool. You like play a card game against some troll or something. And I think it's an 8 tier. Let me see if I can show you the game. Yeah, this picture, very good representation. That was my. Why am I not? Why can I not paste you in? Paste you in last time. Yeah, we're gonna save this one. It doesn't show anything. Oh, it doesn't even show up. So it looks like this. Oh, that's too much. So you need to click on the cards, and each have a different effect, and you have certain items. So what the players done here, they grab this knife which deals 1 damage, then they deal 1 damage to this monster. Then they picked up another knife to deal 1 damage and bleed to the next monster. And they dealt 2 damage and bleed to this monster. And then they clicked on the apple to gain some health. And they have some items, like one item that gives bleed to the first enemy you select. And you need to do this to progress through the dungeon, beat the boss, get a treasure, and complete the quest. It's definitely worth a shot. And yeah, that A tier, maybe even S tier. I don't know. But yeah, it's there's a free version available. You can get that. No ads. Promise. And yeah, it's available on Google Play and on Steam apparently. Yeah, it's a pretty neat game. Definitely a lot of fun. Definitely A tier. Next one, Card Troll. This is it is fun a couple times, but it gets stale after a while. This is a lot of luck, I think. Card Thief, same developer. Also a C tier. Card Troll Adventure is definitely worth checking out. But these two, you can try the free version, but I don't really think like it's worth upgrading to premium, which unlocks more content. This one is a Slay the Spire clone. You can play for free with a ton of adverts on your phone. You can. There are a ton of points where it's too obvious that it's a clone of Slay the Spire, and that really holds the game back. It has some interesting visuals. Since Slay the Spire's a ton of clones, yeah. This is definitely one worth checking out. It's yeah, I think it's the same level as Sneak. Maybe these three should go in A tier. I don't know, or B tier rather. I'll take a look at it later. And I think that's all of them, apart from these three. And well, would you look at it, there's 3 spots available in the top 3. So first we have the number 3 game, Alina of the Arena. Alina of the Arena is a really fun game. I've enjoyed a ton of it. There was a moment where the game felt like it was way too long, and I just got bored of them midway. But yeah, there are some issues I have with this game, and that's why it's number 3 and not higher. There's only one character, and well, this character does have 8 starting kits. Those starting kits don't really matter in the end game. What's so different about them is your starting relic, what your strikes and defense have as extra, and 2 bonus cards, and sometimes even less. And it just feels like a lot of games are the same. Something else that bothers that is. That makes the games feel the same is the fact that it's only 3 bosses, only 2 bosses per act. I think 3 to 5 bosses is the golden zone. 2 bosses is too many, but 6 bosses. No, 2 bosses is too few, but 6 is too many. But yeah, you've seen me play this before, and man, that ending really got me too. But yeah, there's just too much holding it back for being higher than number 3. And now we have Wild Frost versus Slay the Spire. Which one is number 1? Which one is number 2? So, Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is a really fun game. 4 characters with a ton of options. There's also mods, which I originally thought about putting in another slot. If I were to put mods in another slot, they would be A tier. Because mods sometimes, yeah, this is Slay the Spire, but mods. That's A tier. It just feels like a lot of the mods don't really capture the balance of the game too much. But yeah, it's definitely a ton of great fun. Getting Ascension 20 is a long challenge. I still haven't beaten it, but it is a good challenge. There are a ton of ways to synergize cards. A ton of effects, like most cards in the game are good. Yeah. And then we have Wild Frost. A really unique take on the Slay the Spire formula. Getting rid of energy, instead having counters. Being able to move around board with your little minions. And like the amount of interactions you can have with the game, like sure you could have increase your strength by 1 card, and yeah, you could put that on the character, or you could add it to one of the items in your hand, or if you really wanted to, you could even put it on an enemy, and that opens up so many possibilities. Like, sure, why would you put it on an enemy? Well, maybe maybe you want to sunburst an enemy to increase the counter, in order to make it attack an enemy with smack back. Or you could put it on the Woolly Drag to have him attack without potentially eating something that has barrage. There are a ton of combos you can do in the game. Like a lot of criticism in this game. That the game is too hard, or that some of the cards are unbalanced, and that you always pick up one card over another. And I can definitely see some cards being stronger than others. I think Slade Spire also has that issue where some cards are objectively better than others. But I don't really notice that too much. I frequently choose different options, and sometimes I feel like, hey, this card is really good but doesn't work with my deck, or this card is really bad but it works really well with my deck. And like other frustrations, the game is too hard, which I kind of disagree. Um, there are definitely some. There's definitely the game is very punishing. Like how you see it, like I made one simple mistake and then my entire run was gone. But that's also really a strength of the game, is to put you on edge. Where like Slay Spire, you can make compound mistakes, you can make a few mistakes, but with Wild Frost, one mistake can be fatal. But the game kind of balances the out by being pretty. By being yeah, it's not really. It's a pretty swift game. That's what I'm trying to say. Doesn't really take long to play a run. If you're reckless. If you want to think about your move, then there's definitely room for that. And something that Alina tends to be too long sometimes. Well, Frost is the perfect length. Hello, Felicia Darkstalker. It's been a long time. How have you been? But yeah, my final verdict. Wild Frost versus Slade Spire. Which one is better? I'm gonna put Wild Frost at the #1 spot, which means Slade Spire is the #2 game. So Wild Frost is #1, Slade Spire is #2, League of the Rings is #1. I feel like Wild Frost has a ton more interesting things going for it than Slade Spire. Alright, am I satisfied with this? No. Shouldn't gave your beat there. And other changes I want to make. I feel like I need to put something in D tier. I think this one is just too challenging. I think this one, the card crawl, is better than Steve. Maybe put something in S tier and something in A tier from B tier. Something in S tier for. No, I don't think any of them really are S tier game. I think A tier is suitable for these. I feel like one of these should be in A tier. Maybe these two. Do we want to play Inscription over these two? Maybe this game is better. Yeah, this game is better than Ancient Labyrinth Story. Is it better than Inscription though? I think it is. It has a lot of issues, but no, I'm putting. Maybe. So yeah, I think this is my final list. Am I satisfied with this? I think I am. No. Shotgun King goes here. Okay, let's see. Packlane is definitely top of S tier. I think these two are equal actually. Maybe this one is better, but that's just because it's newer to me. I think I want to put these two above. Oh. These are pretty much on the same level though. These ones are definitely... This is high A tier, this is low A tier. But yeah. Also, I think... this is high B tier. But these... This is low B tier for me. I don't want to bother sorting C tier. Do I want to add more tiers? Nah, I'm satisfied with this. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this. Oh yeah, pretty much. Okay, so these three, I highly recommend checking them out. Same with these actually. These six, I feel like all. If you like roguelikes, these are all definitely worth a shot. But if you like roguelikes, you've probably already played this one. Yeah, these two are definitely worth a shot. This one's free on mobile. This one is a free demo. This one also has a free demo. These three games are I recommend as well. These three, well, Slay Spider-Man mods also I recommend. If Slay Spire. These two maybe not. Inscription high recommend, but for different reasons. Two also high recommend. Can get stilled. Well, this one's also high recommend. It's free. Just play it. This one is free on Armor Games if that still exists. Yeah, these three are also free. And feel free to check them out. These two are also free. Yeah, most of everything from D tier onward is recommended. You just check it out, play it once at least. Across the Obelix is not recommended. Yeah, yeah. That is my ranking. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'll share this into the Discord, so you can have a go at it as well. What are you playing once costs money? Playing what once? Most of these games. No, a lot of them are free. They do not listen. Going on. What happened here? Anyway, if you want to make the tier list for yourselves, I'll upload it to the Discord after this.